Assalamualaikum viewers, welcome to Learning Academy. Today the topic of our discussion is nutrition in fungi. So here we go. In this topic we are going to discuss about the achlorophyllous behavior of fungi. It means they are without chlorophyll. The enzymes that are involved in the digestion of the food for fungi, also the rhizoids and hyphae of fungi, and also the predatory, parasitic and the decomposer behavior of fungi. So here we go. First of all is the point that fungi are achlorophyllous. Achlorophyllous mean fungi is without chlorophyll. Fungi have no chlorophyll. So as we know that the process of photosynthesis need chlorophyll for capturing of light. If there is no chlorophyll, there is no photosynthesis. If there is no photosynthesis process, there will be no food production. So all the organisms that cannot prepare their own foods are called heterotrophs. So fungi is heterotrophic organisms. Their mode of nutrition is that heterotrophic type. Okay. So there are three branches of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The one is that absorptive heterotrophic nature, the other is saprotrophic, and the third one is decomposer. First of all, we are going to discuss about the absorptive heterotrophic nature. Absorptive heterotrophic nature means fungi grow on a substrate. Its spores grow on a substrate of any kind, living or non-living, such as bread, etc. Whenever it grows on a substrate, it release enzymes, different kinds of enzymes that decompose that substrate into simple substance. As we know that the simpler one is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and it formed from the organic substances, glucose and fructose, amino acids, etc. Whenever fungi release enzyme on a substrate, these enzymes break down the complex compound of the substrate into the simpler one. After the formation of simpler compound, fungi absorb through diffusion in their cell wall, through diffusion process that simpler compound into their cell. As these compounds come into the cells, it uses these compound in various metabolic processes. I hope so you understand well about this absorptive situation. As we know that the word absorptive related to absorption, and we know that about the absorption processes. So here it also happened like that. Fungi release enzyme on a substrate. These enzyme, as we know that enzymes involved in the breaking part of the things like substances. Okay. So whenever fungi release the enzyme on a substrate, these enzymes break down the complex compound of the substrate into simpler one. Fungi absorb these simpler compound through their cell wall and then cell membrane. As we know that the diffusing process, so it is carried by the cells of the fungi. The another one is saprotrophic nature of fungi. Fungi also feed on the second one is saprotrophic nature. Saprotrophic nature always related to the dead organisms. So fungi also feed on the dead organisms. For this purpose, they have the root-like extensions, root-like structures in place of roots, that is called rhizoids. Rhizoids are root-like extensions that anchor the substrate on which fungi is feeding. In saprotrophic case, that substrate is dead organism. Here decomposer Decomposer fungi is that one that feed on the living organism and decompose the complex organic matter here into the simpler one and then absorb these substances. These three of the absorptive heterotroph, saprotrophic heterotrophs and decomposer heterotrophs release enzymes for their activities, for their processes. Okay. And for anchorage, fungi has rhizides. Rhizides are the root-like extension of a hyphae. What is hyphae? The body of fungi is called hyphae. As we know that fungi is made up of the various filamentous structure, branching structure. These filamentous and branching structure all combine to form mycelium of fungi. The word mycelium is derived from the Greek word mycos, that also mean fungi. So hyphae is a part of the body of fungi. Okay. And rhizides are extend from the hyphae on the inner side for anchoring purpose. The next one is that fungi is the principal decomposer of lignin and the cellulose. Why it is important here? Because as we know that fungi is related to plants, is somehow related to plants. Okay. But their heterotrophic nature exclude them from their. So fungi also decompose the plant cell wall. How? Because it is a major decomposer of cellulose and lignin. Cellulose and lignin are the major components of the plant cell wall. Okay. So in short, fungi easily attack on the plants by breaking their cell wall, which is made up of the cellulose and lignin. Now the point is that, as you can see here, fungi and bacteria both are major decomposer of earth. Without fungi there is less and less recycling things. So for the recycling of the nutrients in the environment we must need fungi. Because if nutrients cannot be recycled, they depletes in the environment. The next one is the types of fungi in the environment. So fungi may be parasitic or may be predator. In parasitic case, they develop Historia. Whenever you see a term Historia, it is always related to a tip, not a rhizides. Some children's or students mix Historia words with rhizides, but Historia is no rhizide. It is Historia. Historia means tip. As we know that the body of fungi consists of cell wall and then there is a cytoplasm inside. So Historia is formed by the somehow extension, a forming tip on the body of the fungi that break down the cell wall of as we can say that plant cell wall and enter into their cytoplasm and suck the organic matter from there and use it in their processes. So parasitic fungi, best example is mildews and rust species. As we know that there is also a detailed lecture on Justilago treatise. You can see it in the playlist. Now here we discuss about the predatory behavior of fungi. Fungi is a major predator of their prey. In predatory case, we have an example of oyster mushroom, which scientific name is Pleurotus osteratus, which is a predatory omnivore fungi. It paralyzes the nematode. The poor nematode is called roundworm. It is the name of roundworm. It penetrates the wall of the nematode and then absorb their nutritional content primarily in to fulfill its nitrogen requirement. And oyster mushroom, it fulfill its glucose requirement by breaking the wood. So it is very clever. Its nitrogen requirement is completed by the killing or penetrating the wall of a poor nematode, which is a roundworm, and it also fulfills its glucose requirement by breaking the wood. Some fungi, for example, Erythrobotrytis species, it in water form a constricting ring around the poor nematode, unlucky nematode, and then slowly penetrate their body wall, and then absorb its nutritional requirements and finally kill the nematode. Other fungi have other type of the adaptation for killing their prey, like secretion of sticky substances, etc. So here is the topic of nutrition in fungi. We have ended this topic. If you have any query related to this topic, then kindly ask me in the comment section. Thank you.